all I was like this morning when I talked to him, the only thing holding me back from believing I could win was him. Like I told him, I was like, Sully, I think I can win today.
Good job, my man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. And I was just waiting for him to be like, yeah, you know, let's go for top 3. But he didn't do that. He was like, I know you can win, and that really carried momentum. And like, you know, he talked about guys like Mason Furlick, my high school teammate Jamie Phelan, are national champions themselves, and it's just like talking with them. They're such down to earth and amazing people, and it really just instilled this belief in me that it's like if I do everything I can make it happen. So thanks so much. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought I had it in me. My 29:13 PR from 2 years ago, I knew that was like a long time coming to break it, and like it's been a bit of a roller coaster year with some injuries. But like when I was on, and I knew coming to this race, like I was a little fresher than other people, and things just came together at the right time.
Is it difficult that last 100 to not like freak out and think, oh my god, I'm about to win, or I'm going for the win? Is it hard to stay in the race while you've got like, you know, this big stage?
My first time here, yes. I came here 2 years ago, my first time in Eugene, and I'm so glad I was able to come back, because the first time here was such an overwhelming experience. Raised in front of this type of crowd, historic Hayward Field, I just felt like so out of my element and out of my league that coming back the second time I knew what to expect. I felt like I belonged, and I knew going into 5K, right, to just dial in, it's just another race. And like, yeah, the crowd was so excited in the last 100 meters, but like, I didn't really start freaking out until I knew for sure I had the win, and that wasn't until the last 3 meters of the race.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you said, you know, you thought you were capable of faster than a PR, but I guess given your credentials, what made you confident that you could win today, even though, you know, maybe people might not have picked you?
Sure. Training is a big part of it. You know, we clipped off workouts where I was like, I'm ready to run. You know, my 5K PR is 13:48, and I ran workouts where I was like, I think I can run sub 13:40. And then I've always been a strength-based athlete, so I knew as long as I get the leg speed going and the 5K work, that the 10K would improve itself. So we worked on a lot of speed work, and honestly, like regionals was a huge confidence booster. And you know, we closed in 57 last lap, running 29:17, and you know, 90+ degree weather. Like after that race, how good it felt to close in 57, I was like, and running with Kiprop too, right? And Kipkoech from Campbell was like, I just felt like I could compete with these guys today, and like cross country helped with that. Like this is the first time where I went into the race with all these first team All-Americans and like felt like I fit in and was able to I wasn't scared of anyone today, and I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Kiprop and the Alabama team took a pretty big lead at the start of the race, and then admitted later that he didn't even really know how fast he was going. Did that have any effect on, like, did you notice that, how fast they were going?
I did. I went through the first 200 and saw 31. I was like, it's mile pace for me. So I think, you know, some teams had a big advantage having other teammates there. Alabama, 3 guys in the race. NAU was able to work up front for a bit. But I knew, like, I was here by myself, and I knew those teams were going to work together at the front. So I just tried to stay comfortable, because I knew, like, it was going to take a toll running from the front, and like that's hard to do. Like those NAU guys and Alabama guys clipping up that fast with the wind, and for a whole 10K, like running up front is tough. So I just tried to sit back, and I was like, if I feel relatively comfortable, I know that in the last 400 I'm going to have a little bit more steam than these guys who maybe took a toll a little bit earlier in the race.
Why don't we do one more? Just what does it mean to close out your Michigan career with this national title? Is that beyond words?
It's beyond words. I've had an amazing, the best experience of my life running for Michigan. I owe so much to my teammates. My teammates, like after the regional meet, the guys who weren't even coming to the national meet, they all decided to keep working out, and they led all the intervals of our workouts. Like the teammates, I owe so much to them. Like Billy, Connor Mora, Aaron Baumgart, and Micah, like those guys carried me through this national meet and believed in me. And you know, to give Coach Sullivan a second national champion is like, I owe so much to him, and he's made my Michigan experience amazing. So I just want to thank everybody part of the Michigan community, Michigan athletics. Thanks for giving a Canadian boy, you know, a dream come true, coming to the U.S. and running for the NCAA. And I always wanted this to happen, but never knew if it would. So it's honestly a dream come true.
So your teammates, are they continuing to race too, or they were just practicing just to pace you out?
I mean, a couple of them are starting to race, like they're thinking about it, but in general, they're like, you know, Flan, like, we're done. You know, a lot of them are 5th years and they were done with their collegiate eligibility. They're like, we're going to come out to the track and pace you through some workouts to make them a little bit easier. So they took out everything and they made my workouts so much easier, so much more doable, boosted my confidence. So I owe so much to those guys, and that's just the type of guys they are. They're my best friends. They're the best teammates you could ever ask for.
That's awesome. And so what are the plans? You graduate now? Like,
I'm done. Yeah, this is my 5th year. I'm in graduate school right now, so I'm staying in Ann Arbor because I have to finish school still. But I want to keep running, you know, and being Canadian, like, I've spent so much time in the NCAA system, and that's been my main priority for the past 5 years. I really want to start representing Canada again, start to run with some Canadian athletes again. So I do really want to pursue a post-collegiate career, and we'll see what type of options are open. And you know, I'm hoping that this is just the start. I really do believe there's a lot more in the tank.
Terrific.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, Ben. Congratulations.
Thank
Go
you
Blue.
so much. Go Blue.
Did you really say where's my...
Yeah, it was such an amazing experience.
Yeah, what do you think you'll do today?
I'm going to spend some time with my family. I'm going to have dinner and just enjoy the moment. Yeah, take it from there. I've got to call my teammates. I got to call my sisters. I got to thank everybody in the world that I owe thanks to, because this is not a single person effort. I owe so much credit to so many people in my life, and I really want to express my gratitude to them when I'm in this moment right now.
Well, congratulations.
And you mentioned you're a redshirt senior. What was the injury you went through, and how long ago was that?
Which one? So the one that was like my first bad-ish injury, the one that really set me back, was I had a stress fracture in my sacrum. That was just after my junior year. I came and ran at Eugene, and then over the summer was just so amped up about everything, about like finally getting that level at the national stage, that I just did a little bit too much. The fall was pretty inconsistent, and then in the winter I had a stress fracture in my back. So I regrouped from that. Sully and I put together a very thorough training plan. I was able to get like a point and run at regionals, a point at Big Tens and run at regionals, and then took some time off to really regroup for the fall. Fall went great, and then I banged up my foot once after that going in indoor. Came back and ran Iowa State, and then it reoccurred going to Big Tens, and then I settled again and geared up for the Cardinal Classic. It was my first race of the season. It was the hardest 29:33. I will hopefully the hardest I ever run in my life. But and then from that point on, it was just about getting back to the racing shape again.
So that was Cardinal Classic a year ago?
No, that was this season.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
that was the hardest.
Yes.
That was harder than today.
Toss up. It was pretty hard. I know there were some ugly splits in there. I was making Sully pretty nervous to see if I was even going to get a regional time. So that was the time of the year where things were a little bit uncertain. So once we got the regional time there, it was like, okay, now we can just focus on Big Tens. We approach regionals when we get there, and I just put together a really, really solid training block. And I think having that late start to the season really paid some dividends coming to this time of the year where I felt pretty fresh.
I mean, a sacral stress fracture, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough. Did you must have gone through moments where you didn't think you'd even make it back to this, right?
Yeah. If I'm being completely honest, yeah, it was hard. It was a hard injury. I took a lot of time off. I grinded like as hard as I could, cross training. Coach Sullivan actually had a sacral stress fracture in his career, so he was so helpful in just knowing what to do. But I had some teammates that unfortunately were also injured, but they served as huge motivating factors and motivation to train as hard as I could every day outside of the track, like in the pool, bike, etc. But yeah, there's definitely those are tough times, and there's definitely moments where I was like, I don't really know where my career is going to go from here. Like, hopefully we can come back, but those are pretty uncertain moments. So I just trusted the process, trusted Coach Sully, and then it was really like a small victory approach to everything. The first time running on ground was a big win. The first time running a mile under 5 minutes was a big win. Like, we really started from scratch again, and we were lucky to even run as well as we did at Big Tens and regionals. And then having the summer to come back and approach the fall was where things really started to come together again.
Do you run less mileage now, or do more cross training, or is there anything you do differently than you did before?
I have had a tendency to really push the boundaries, and I think Sully and I recognize that and kind of addressed it. So yeah, I run a less miles now. Just kind of this last year has been a little bit more of like a less is more type of approach to things. I don't really do cross training. Cross training is really tough for me after how much I did when I was injured. It's really tough getting on the bike again for how many miles I put on that thing. So yeah, I mean, the most I got this year, I think maybe 75 miles a week this track season, and that was at its peak. So yeah, and then the communication is just big. Like Sully and I are really honest with each other about like if anything's flaring up, like all right, let's like nip this in the bud as soon as possible, and just take a day off now as opposed to weeks off down the road. But I've been really healthy. That's really the only injury I've ever had that was like that significant. I've never had bone injuries before, so that was a new experience for me.
And what's the grad program you're in right now?
I'm in a dual master's program in the School of Social Work and the School of Information.
Okay.
So I'm in school for a bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, like grad school has been busy this year. I've spent probably over the past 6 months like 20 hours a week in like a student internship, and then having classes on top of that. And we were able to fit in workouts around it, and that kind of has been really helpful in itself. Just kind of like having focuses outside of the track has really been strangely incredibly beneficial as well for me.
Probably feel like less of a college student, more.
Yes.
I mean, the more real world experience.
That's definitely a part of it. Yeah, so part of the master's degree is a student internship. So I've gotten a lot more work experience, which has been awesome. I love where I'm at, and I've gotten a taste of like how to fit running in around real world experience. So it's been a pretty interesting semester. Like in hindsight, I've got really no idea how everything worked out as well as it did, because it's been a little chaotic, to be honest. But
well, it worked out.
yeah, seriously,
Congratulations.
thanks so much.